y'all? How we doing? All right, I got like 2 thumbs ups and silence. Hope you're all doing well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So please, first and foremost, some housekeeping stuff. Please remove your hats, and please push those hoods back. We don't need them for this particular point in time, so please take your hat off. Thank you very much. All right, and please go ahead and stand with us. We're going to sing a couple songs. You should know these songs. As always, you are welcome to join us up here. It's always open for y'all. Ready? 1,
Nothing can separate, even if I ran away. Your love never fails. I know I still make mistakes, but you have new mercies for me every day. Your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. The wind is strong and the water's deep, but I'm not alone here in these open seas. Your love never fails. The chasm is far too wide. I never thought I'd reach the other side. But your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. All things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Your love never fails.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for bringing us all here safely, Lord. Thank you for giving us breath to be able to lift up praises to you. And we ask, Lord, that not only in this time that just occurred that you were lifted up, but we ask that also the time that follows with the speaking of your word and the speaking of thoughts that you have for us, Lord, I ask that you would be blessed in your people coming together and talking about you. Please be in our midst. Please make yourself evident here while we have this little chapel time. So we thank you for this day, Lord, and we thank you for this opportunity. Please be with us in all we do. In your awesome name, amen.
Amen. Would you guys give Praise Band a round of applause, please? Thank you so much for leading us in worship. You did great. And before we get started in chapel today, I need you to quickly assemble 4 teams of 4. Go. 4 teams of 4. Oh, you'll find out. Go. 4 teams of 4. I need them. 4 over there, 4 here, 4 at those stairs, 4 at those stairs. Go, go, go. If we only have 2, that's fine. Grab them. Yeah, Alex, why not? Go ahead. Play. Yeah. All right, let's go. Yep, Bryson. Elijah, Mario, and Adam, you guys come here. All right, freshman girls, go that corner. And we need Megan, grab some people. Looks like we got Mark Barker. Looks like we got Micah. Yeah, all right. Okay, and then Caleb. Let's see. Caleb, Ethan, you guys, or Caleb, Alex, you guys come here. We need 2 more people to complete this team. Caleb, who was with you? Elijah, 1 more. Oh, no. Bryson, go back over there. Alex, you're here. Nice. Okay, and Caleb, you're here. Very cool. Okay. We are going to do a very quick relay for a crap ton of candy. All right, so get down on the floor in front of the stairs. Your heels need to be on the bottom of the stairs. You can decide. Middle school, you guys already did this. You can get on the floor too. Go ahead. Yep. All right, so what we're going to do, first round, you can decide who's going to do what. First round, the person is going to run to the wall and backwards. You may not touch the door. You have to touch the wall. So Jordan, you might want to move and probably sit with your class. You're going to touch the wall next to the door. The second person is going to go up and back on 1 foot. The third person is going to go up and back, crawling backwards like a crab. And the fourth person is just going to run. You will be disqualified if you touch the doors. Make sure that you do not touch the doors. Mr. Brummett can be in that back corner. Mr. Gonzalez can watch there. The last thing we want is for the doors to fly open and kill a small child. Yes. One more time. First person is going to run there and backwards. Second person hops on 1 foot, there and back. Third person crawls backwards like a crab, there and back. Last person just runs. All right. Yeah, Okay. Are we ready? You may not begin until you have touched hands with the person in front of you. On your marks. That's funny because it's Mark. On your marks. Get set. Go. Go, 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 go. Touch the wall. Don't touch the door. And run back. Aha. Aha. Dang. Go, Kevin, go, Kevin, go. Oh, yeah, the girls might. Oh, this is close. Lizzie, go. Don't kill Alex. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, the girls! Woo! All right, if you played, come grab a candy. If you won, wait for there and we'll get you more. If you played, come grab a candy and have a seat. Let's go. Come grab a candy, have a seat. There you go. I know, right? Almost. Grab a candy. Boys over there, you can come over here and grab a candy. I'm going to have to buy a new bag of candy at some point. Yeah, just one. All right, you ladies are each going to get 5 pieces. Thank you. They did. You fought admirably. Just one. There you go. All right, I will leave this to you ladies, and you guys can grab it and sit down. What we are going to be discussing today is something we discussed all the way back at the beginning of last year. Can anybody remember, who was not in middle school, so no cheating, can anybody remember what was our first chapel of the year? What was the main theme of this year? Mark? Not quite. There was one after. You're close. We did discuss King's Pride. Dean? Unity. Now, can somebody raise their hand and tell me what unity means? Anybody think they got this definition? Glenn? Thank you. To be united. What does united mean? Together. Okay. Together, anything else? Any other things we should know about unity? Elijah? Teamwork. I like the word team. What else? I'll help you out. One of my middle schoolers this morning in the 6th grade, I believe, had a really good example. He said, being so together that it's like you're one person. So unity can really be defined as being so together that you're like one person. Now, that doesn't mean that all of your personality traits and all of the things that make you different go away. Remember, you were made different on purpose. But what do you think we're talking about when we talk about unity? We don't all want to look the same. We don't all want to talk the same. We don't all necessarily want to think the same. But what should we have the same, especially if you're on the same team? What helps to be on the same page about? Bettis. One common goal. That's exactly what I was going to say. One common goal. Everybody is unified by the fact that we have one goal in mind. Now, I talked to the middle schoolers this morning. It was a little different. Some of you it might be different, but let's say that our goal is, with the resources given to us, to get to Disneyland. Now, for me, that would be very simple, and for some of you in the audience, that would be simple for you. I get in my car, I get on the 91 freeway, and I go to Disneyland. Some of you who don't have cars, you would either have to find somebody to drive you, or maybe you're just going to be brave and try to take the bus. Maybe you're going to walk. Maybe you're going to make it one of those experiences. I would not recommend it. But the point is, you get to Disneyland. Not all of us are going to get to the goal at the same time. Not all of us are going to have the same method. Maybe you're one of those freaky people who really just likes walking. And you're like, no, this is going to be a spiritual journey for me. I just watched Lord of the Rings, and what Frodo and Sam went through really resonated with me, so I'm going to walk to Disneyland. Maybe that's what you want to do. But it doesn't matter because you're still going to the same place. Now, last week, what did we talk about? Well, this is embarrassing. What did you talk about last week? Not to mention your speaker is sitting here in the booth running sound for you. What did you say? Growing older is a big aspect of that. What else? What else we talk about? Go, Harley. Okay, Danielle. Change, that's another one. Very good. Sadie. Jesus is your older brother. What else? What else do we remember? Jason? Reflecting on yourself, on the past, that kind of stuff. Last week we talked about reflection. Somebody define, what is reflection? Raise your hand, tell me. Somebody. Looking in a mirror or something. Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror. And what does he tell the man in the mirror to do? I want to start changing, and who am I going to start with? I'm going to start with the man in the mirror. But when we're talking about reflecting, we're talking about looking at ourselves. But instead of looking at yourself on the outside and maybe whining about how your hair is working today, I don't know if boys really have bad hair days. I don't think that that's a thing for them, really. There is nothing more detrimental and disheartening to a girl than her hair not doing what she wants. Especially ladies, you know what I'm talking about, when you've already put like 30 minutes into it and it's still not working and you just want to either scream or cut it all off, and it's just, there's a lot that can go in. So I'm not necessarily talking about that kind of reflection. I'm talking about internal. I'm talking about taking a look at your personality and things that you've done and decisions you've made and looking at the way that you process things and kind of testing it. Last semester, we talked about how you guys found out some things about yourself. Maybe it was good. Maybe you found out, oh, wow, I actually can do math if I practice and study and actually do the homework. Maybe you found out, oh, wow, I actually am kind of good at that sport. I thought I couldn't do it, but I could. Maybe you found out, oh, I can actually sing and perform and do things that I didn't think I could. Maybe you had an opportunity to be nice to somebody, and you realized, wow, I took it without even thinking. Maybe you found out that in a stressful situation, you turned to God first. You went, wow, that's good. Maybe you expanded your friend group. Maybe you found out, oh, wow, I really can be honest and real with these people. I don't have to pretend all the time to hope that they like me. Maybe you found real friends. And maybe some of your reflections were not as good. Maybe you found out, ooh, I procrastinate too much. Ooh, I don't always say the nicest things to people when I'm given the opportunity. Ooh, when stress comes, I turn to unhealthy ways to handle it instead of healthy ones. Maybe we do that. But at its base, self-reflection is a very good thing. It helps you take stock of where you are. Now, I'll give you a spoiler. We're always going to be growing. There's always going to be stuff that we can do better or that we can eliminate. When I was a junior here, it was actually Mr. Brower's first year teaching ever at Bethel. There were 3 of us in his pre-calculus class. And up until that point, we had all kind of gone through math. Like I'm not tooting my own horn. We were the smart kids. 2 of us were valedictorian. So we had gone through and, let me just look at the material before the test. I'll be fine. That kind of mentality. We got to pre-calculus. And the first test, I will never forget this moment. I graduated with a 4.0 plus, okay? Just to give an example, just for context. Doesn't matter now, but just for context. And I saw a 65 staring at me from the test. Now, I know some of you are just like, oh my God, I would kill for a 65. But context here. One man's 65 is another man's 98. It just depends on how you look at it. But for me, that was failure, which is ironic because it wasn't. It was a D. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And all of a sudden, I had to reflect and realize that what I had been doing so far was no longer going to work. I had an issue that I needed to fix. Now, a lot of us don't like admitting that we have problems. Don't like admitting that there's something that could be fixed because it's painful. Change sucks. But once I realized, whoops, that's not going to work anymore. What can I do? What can I do? I can change. I can fix it. And I did. I had to take some self-reflection. And you might be like, okay, Ms. Kreitz, that's a math test. Yeah, but it also applies to your relationships with people. Have you ever thought about a conversation that you had with your friends and playing it back, you're like, ooh, maybe that wasn't the best thing to say. Maybe I wasn't thinking about their feelings and I just said something. Or am I being too sensitive? Maybe your feelings got hurt by somebody and you know that they didn't mean it that way, but you're deciding to take it personally because it makes you feel empowered. I don't know. I've been in both of those situations. But this also applies to your relationship with God. In fact, King David, who is known as the man of God's own heart, talked about this a lot. And if you know anything about King David, the dude was whack. His family, whack, all of it. I would not want to trade for his family life. I think he had 2 different sons attempt to kill him and take his throne, and it was a mess. But he was honest. And he says, search me, O God, and know my heart. That's a scary thing to ask. Because God's not going to keep that knowledge to himself. That's not saying, okay, God, you grade me and then, keep it in the book and I'll never see it until the progress reports come out. No. This is, God, take me on a journey through my own heart and let's see what we find. Is anybody in here excited about that prospect? Yeah. Because we know all the stuff that we can work on. But it says, test me and know my anxious thoughts. You don't have to hide all of those insecurities from God. Number one, he already knows because he made you. But number two, he already knows and already died for you. And he knows the future. And he knows you better than you know you. It's a win-win to have him help you with this self-reflection. Point out anything in me that offends you. Yikes. And then does it say, and then God smites me and I go to hell forever? What does it say? And lead me along the path of everlasting life. When we deal with this self-reflection, and especially if we do it with God, there's a lot of worldly self-help and take the personality test and, I react this way because I'm an Enneagram 7 or because I'm a 1 or because I'm an INFJ or because I'm blue or because I'm whatever. No, you react that way because those are the choices you made. Maybe there are personality traits that affect that. Absolutely. But a lot of it, go through that self-reflection, not with what the world tries to explain, but with God. He made you. The quirky sense of humor that you have, that has gotten you friends and also made people not be friends with you. God gave you that. The intellect that you have that helps you do well on tests but might get you in trouble. He gave that to you. The personality stuff. So it's okay to go on a journey of self-reflection with him. Just understand, some of it's going to be good. Some of it you're going to want to change. And God is not going to judge you for it. He's going to lead you into something better. Because he really, truly only wants the best for you. Otherwise, I don't think he would have gone through all of the trouble of dying for you. Right? So we're talking about self-reflection. But this week, this is kind of a refocus. That's looking inward. It is healthy to look inward every once in a while. But some of us get stuck there. Some of us get so focused on ourselves and how we feel and how we respond and how it benefits us. And, what can I get out of this? What can I do? How is this going to work? That we forget that there are people around us. There are people around us who need our help. There are people around us that God created to have a relationship with us. And so I want to focus on the word community. Bless you. And a community is really something we're all looking for. It's kind of interesting. We try to find it wherever we go. People who like the same movie as I do. People who like to eat the same foods that I do. People who watch the same stuff on YouTube that I do. People who enjoy the same TikTok things that I do. All of those things. We look for community. We look for people who have the same goal, who have the same mindset. And we're supposed to. We were made to do that. But what we get in here that really no one else does, especially people who don't know Jesus, is that we get a community that is healthy and uplifting and full of good things if we act like it. Now, for those of you, half of you in this room know that I teach U.S. history. The other half of you will be seeing me in the next couple of years. But many years ago, several years ago, it's astonishing how long I've been teaching the class, actually, and I don't like to pause and think about it. One of those self-reflection things I don't do. But I was teaching in class a couple years ago. And really, historically, the first time we had kind of like this adolescent culture of I don't have to work yet because I'm at school, so I still live with my parents, and nothing's really expected of me until I'm 18. Yeah, that really didn't exist until about the 1950s. In the previous decade, we're a little busy fighting a war, so it doesn't matter how young you are, you're probably going to participate. And the decade prior to that was, we don't really have a guaranteed job, so sorry, you might not get to school, you probably have to go work. And before that, you were probably at your guys' age, especially seniors, you guys were probably getting married and starting families. When we got to the 50s, our country was doing so well that we started to kind of develop this adolescent culture. And a lot of that came with, oh, we have cars. I can leave my parents' house. I can take girls out on dates, and it's not me sitting in a room with my grandma knitting in the corner, judging everything I say. I can go hang out with my friends without my parents being there. And I have my students research what the differences and similarities between kids their age during the 50s and kids their age now. And then I asked them, which do you think was better? And it was really interesting because almost unanimously, does anybody know what the word unanimously means? Bigger than together. Everyone, almost everyone, chose the 50s. Which to me seems a little weird because the kids in the 50s, your grandparents, are marveling at the stuff that you guys have now. The technology, the longer life expectancy, the way that you can just get whatever you want, whenever you want, it's incredible. But the kids almost unanimously chose the 50s. And it was very interesting because I asked them why. Well, the world seemed like a better place then. Well, what do you mean? Well, people were just nicer to each other. Boys respected the girls. They had to earn money and get a job and buy a car before they would even take them out on a date. There was no leaving them on red or texting them later at night or anything like that. It was just different. Everybody respected each other. And when you walked along the street, people said hi to you. And the interesting thing about that to me was that everything that they listed was well within their power to change. But we don't think about it that way. We think a lot of times other people should be the ones to do that. Well, I'm not smiling at them because they didn't smile at me. Well, I'm not going to respect them because they didn't respect me. When in reality, if you want people to smile at you when you're walking down the street in a non-creepy way, you do it first. If you want people to be polite when they interact with each other in the grocery store, in the coffee shop, even here at school, and I know school is intimidating because you actually know these people. You don't know Kevin at Albertsons, even though he checks your food every day at the same time, but you're nice to him and you have conversations, but you don't actually have to deal with Kevin from Albertsons. It's not like your classmates. That could be awkward. But if you want those changes, you do it. If you want to be respected, don't allow people to get away with disrespecting you. And if you want your friends to be respected, don't allow with people disrespecting your friends. But in the Bible, it has pages and pages and pages and pages of how we are supposed to treat each other. We want the world to be a better place. Guess what? That's what Christians are for. People who don't know God don't know what they're missing. I mean, they know they're missing something, but they don't know specifically. But you, me, we are here to make the world a better place. We are the ones who are supposed to lead by example what a good, healthy, loving community looks like. And for a lot of you, if you go to church, that's where you find it. If you don't, it's here. But Paul talks about this at length. Paul was kind of like the church guru because nobody knew how to do church. Jesus showed up, had a bunch of followers, was murdered, came back, plot twist, 3 days later, yeeted into heaven. With his only instructions being, talk to these people about what I did and spread it to as many people as you possibly can. There were no instructions about how many people should you have in this church? How many houses should you include? What should you do? What's the structure? Who does the announcements? Nobody had that. They had to figure out how to be a good, healthy community that people in the world would look at and go, ooh, I want to be involved in that. They had to figure that out on their own. And Paul was very helpful. In Romans, he talks about how to have that community. Just as our bodies have many parts, and each part has a special function, so it is with Christ's body. We are many parts of one body, And we belong to who? Each other. Now, is that talking about people who are not Christians? No, once we are Christians, we are part of the same team. We are part of the same body. And I love this. Paul also does not pull any punches. We're going to see this a couple times. Don't just pretend to love others. Some of us, me included, are really, really, really good at pretending. And you're all smiles on the surface, and wow, you have such a nice chatty relationship, but the second something goes wrong in their life and they need help, oh, I'm too busy. Or maybe it's worse than that. Maybe we're nice to them in person, and then as soon as they leave, oh my God, did you see what she was wearing? Sorry, boys probably don't pick apart other boys' outfits. Maybe it's just like, oh, did you see how he was walking? I don't know. Did you see him at the sport game? I don't know. I'm making hasty generalizations here, but don't just pretend to love others. Really love others. And you might be like, Ms. Kreitz, what does that look like? Well, in a simple way, putting other people first. Reflecting not just on how you handle stuff, but how can I be a better person? How can I make that person more comfortable? How can I make that person smile? How can I make that person have a better day? I can tell they're not having a good one. How can I help with that? Hate what is wrong. Nothing tears apart a community like wrongdoing, like wrong things. Because then people get all up in arms and emotions happen and fights happen, and next thing you know, people who have said they love each other are turning on each other. And yeah, even Christians. Hold tightly to what it is good. Love each other with a genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Now, what does that mean? Honoring each other. In a way, to honor somebody is to make them look good. When it says to honor your parents, it does not necessarily mean, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt, please don't go home and say that Ms. Kreitz said this. It does not always mean in every context you have to obey them. Sometimes your parents, they might not be correct. You know, that's possible. Not very often. Usually, 99% of the time, your parents want what's best for you and they know what they're talking about. But more importantly, it means make them look good. Make them be like, yep, that's my kid. Not, oh, that's my kid. Make somebody look good. You want to show your teacher that you appreciate them? You can get them a whole bunch of stuff for Teacher Appreciation Week, that's true. But you can also do it again to make them look good. Yes, I remember what we talked about because I was paying attention. Ooh, all right. Your teacher must be good. Yeah, they are. Make your coach look good. Yes, I fought my hardest, and I had a great attitude while doing it, and even if I missed some shots, even if I missed some things, even if I messed up a little bit, I kept my head held high, and I behaved like I know that they want me to. That makes them look good. Make your peers look good. People out there have a lot to say about teenagers. I get it. I was one. And now I am one. And I catch myself going, the youths. And it's like, I'm not that old yet, but like, we're getting there. But make yourselves look good. Make people go, yep, that's right. That's who they are. Do something that's worthy of respect and worthy of people looking at and being like, yep, I want to be like that. That's what it's like to be in a good community. You're proud to be there. You're proud to be part of it. People feel safe with you. Everybody in your community knows that you're all important. You all matter, and you're all treated that way. Well, what happens if something What happens if something messes up? What happens if somebody messes up? Some of us in here have gone through some pretty rough stuff. Sometimes life is just awful like that. And there's really nothing you can do to prevent. It's just, sometimes it gets you. Or sometimes you make a mistake. I'm sure we've all felt that crushing, oh my goodness, I just said something. I just did something that is going to make the group, whatever my group is, upset with me. Maybe it's your team. Maybe you did something stupid in class, got a detention, now you can't play in the game, and your team loses. And yeah, that sucks. And yeah, that's your fault. A healthy community is not going to shun that person. Unless they did it on purpose, and then there's other things to talk about. But if you just messed up, people do. We all do. We've all messed up. Paul even has an answer for that. Oh, let's see. I'll come back to that one. Here it is. Dear brothers and sisters, if another believer is overcome by sin, sometimes it gets you. Sometimes you make decisions that you know you're not supposed to make as a Christian. Sometimes you do it gladly. But if you know somebody who is struggling with stuff, you who are godly should judge them and yell at them and tell them they're going to hell. What does it say? Gently and humbly. Why humbly? Danielle? Well, first of all, you don't want to make them think that you're better than them, but also humbly recognizes that that could have just as easily been me. I could have been the one that messed up. I could have been the one who did the thing. Maybe it is you. Maybe you have been the one who did the thing, and you know how much that hurts. And so you just sit by them and say, it's okay. I've been through this. Let's go. Let's get through it. Gently and humbly help that person back onto the right path. And be sure you don't fall into the same temptation yourself. I love this one. Share in each other's burden. If somebody is struggling with something, help them out. Talk to the people around you. Maybe they're going through something in their family that you have gone through. And you can be like, hey, I know how much it hurts, but I made it. Maybe you're dealing with the same thing. You can say, hey, you're not alone, and don't feel bad. I'm going through it too. Imagine if we did that more often, because I know that some of you do. And I can see it in your relationships. But what if we all did that? What if we all shared in each other's burdens? And we're doing this to follow the law of Christ. This is what he wants for us as his people. To be in a community where we support and help each other. And I love this. Paul also, that's a nice sweet moment. And then he comes in with, if you think you are too important to help somebody, you are only fooling yourself. You are not that important. Yes, that is in the Bible. Don't think, oh, well, I'm doing other things for God. I'm a little too busy to do, And I've been that person too. And life and God smacked me down real quick, and I went, oop, yep, okay. And you want to know how I got over it? I talked to other people who had been in the same situation, and we as a community put it back. But a lot of you are here because you're looking for somewhere safe. And I can tell you this, teachers really, really do help. But ultimately, the content of this school's culture, the choices that are made in between the classes, the choices that are made after school, we can't be involved in that. We can teach you. We can love you. We can show you. But ultimately, that's on you guys. But instead of being intimidated, instead of feeling stressed out, I challenge you to look at it a different way. Look at it as we get to do that. You understand the difference between have to and get to? We get to be the ones to build this community where people feel safe and people can understand just how much God loves them. We get to make the community where people feel accepted and supported. And don't have to worry for every second about what people think of them. You guys are already worried and stressed out about enough. You do not need that. But imagine what would happen if our focus, if we had the same goal of everyone here being in an environment and being reminded and learning about just how much God loves you. It is extremely achievable. It won't be easy. That's a decision, and decisions are hard. But you guys are already working towards that. So this is an encouragement. Keep it up. And if you know that maybe you haven't been making quite those decisions, do a little self-reflecting and start making different choices. Well, Ms. Christ, it's not that easy. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes. But just see, we have this whole semester. What are we going to do with it? What could you guys do with it? I don't know. But I'm excited and hopeful to find out. I think come May, we could have a somewhat different vibe going. If you want. It's up to you. Go ahead, bow your heads. Close your eyes. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to spend time in your presence and learn about you and how much you love these kids. And I thank you for each and every one of them, that they are here on purpose and that you love them so much that you died for them just so that you could have a relationship with them. And that they understand that they are loved and they are important and they matter. And that they have a great rest of today, a great Friday, a great long weekend, and they come back ready to go on Tuesday. In your name we pray. Amen. We have, really quickly before we leave, an announcement from Mr. President. We also have an announcement from Mr. Farley. We will make them very, very quick. Mr. President, right now, just yell at him. Go. Thank you very much, Mr. President. All right, and Mr. Farley, here you go.
Thank you. Everybody but seniors, I need y'all to remain here. Everyone else can please be dismissed. Thank you.